Hello and welcome to another episode of NAN Weekly Gist. Stay tuned as we spill the tea.
One story at a time.
I'm Anita with
Blessing.
Let's Dive In. Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar, the chief of the Air Staff, has taken a significant step to boost the morale of Nigerian Air Force personnel. He has just inaugurated 9 newly renovated accommodation blocks for officers, airmen, and airwomen in Kano State.
That's great.
It's actually great. This move is part of the Air Force's efforts to prioritize welfare and recognize that a motivated force is key to achieving their command philosophy.
Aside boosting their morale, I think this will foster effective military operation.
Yeah, it will make them more happy to go into
Because
the wars.
personal welfare is actually key in making the military thrive. The
should actually-
community impact is included
True.
as well.
It will prompt other armed forces to
Emulate this kind of
exactly.
Sure.
Great to see the Nigerian Air Force prioritizing the well-being of its personnel. After all, happy troops make a more effective and motivated force.
I believe you. Moving on, Nigeria's inflation rate has taken a dip to 24.48% in January 2025, from December's 2024, 34.80%, according to the National Bureau of Statistics.
Okay.
This was made known by NBS at a briefing on the Consumer Price Index, CPI, releasing results. Notably, CPI is a key macroeconomic indicator reflecting the movement of aggregate price levels in a country, and it is expected to be rebased every 5 years. With this coming festive period, I don't think this inflation is going to stop. It's going to be on the rise because that's how festive periods
No, we have to give our governments the benefits of doubt. We do.
Okay. It is worth noting that the decline in inflation rate doesn't necessarily mean prices have decreased, because they haven't.
We have to face it. They haven't.
But rather that the rate of price increase has slowed down.
Yeah. And still on the National Bureau of Statistics, if you have ever wondered whether the price of tomatoes or your electricity bill should be lumped into the same inflation figure, well, the National Bureau of Statistics has news for you. In a move to make sense of the Nigeria ever-evolving economy, the Bureau has introduced a set of special inflation indices to its monthly Consumer Price Index report. For context, the CPI rebasing isn't just an accounting trick. It's a major update that shifts the base year from 2009 to 2024, meaning Nigeria's inflation calculations now reflect the current economy, new sectors, updated consumption habits, and improved data collection methods.
Wow. This will help the issue of assumption,
Yeah.
because there will be accurate economic measurements.
And it's actually kudos to them for coming up with this. It will give us an accurate baseline of how our economy is going
Sure.
and heading to
It almost reflects recent trends.
and the past. We will always know what
Yes.
is on ground
We
and
always know
what is
what's on
going
ground,
to happen
actually.
and when it's going to happen and all that.
Sure. So it's a great one for me.
Yeah.
If you ask me. Yeah. Big news for small businesses in Nigeria.
Okay.
The federal government has just set up a committee to make financing easier for micro, small, and medium enterprises. Isn't that wonderful?
It is. It's definitely wonderful.
This committee, chaired by Senator John Eno, Minister of State for Industry, Trade and Investment, will work closely with the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, to make financing more accessible. Anita, this is an encouragement to entrepreneurs, and it will make small businesses to thrive with financing involved. Don't you
True,
think?
yeah, because the government is trying to help them and give them the finances that they will use to stand on their own. So yes, it's a great move.
And whatever the government gives to the community or to the youth, it goes back to
The
them,
economy,
because
yes.
it's to foster economic growth.
Yeah, it will help our government itself.
It's kudos to we give kudos to the government for this wonderful initiative.
And then, bottom line, if you are a small business owner in Nigeria, the government might finally be serious about making funding less of a headache. So, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
In other news, as Ramadan approaches, Dr. Sharafuddin Aliagan, an Islamic cleric, is calling on political leaders to reflect their values and principles. His message is clear: Ramadan is a time for spiritual reflection, growth, and renewal. By prioritizing their faith and values, political leaders can become better versions of themselves
Definitely.
and ultimately better fashions and leaders for their communities.
This we are one Nigeria, okay? So the exercise is actually for both Christians and Muslims, but Muslim precisely.
Yes.
Christians for their support
But
towards
then it's
this
all
fasting period.
it's for we have to start with ourselves as individuals. Self-reflection. It matters for us before we start talking about the leaders and then the government itself.
His main purpose of prioritizing the government per se is because of ethical governance. He wants to foster, ethical
Okay,
governance.
to
in the
create a
country.
good base in our
Sure, because
communities.
it's like going back to your source, going back to your roots.
Yes, he's also reminding them that being a good Muslim and a good leader go hand in hand.
Sure, it does.
And with this, it's a wrap for this week. Stay informed and keep learning until we meet again next week.